That time, the parents did not explain how to behave with her husband in bed. And all because talking about it was awkward, embarrassing and inconvenient. And between the girlfriends this was discussed in a whisper, and half of the information gleaned from such sources could be unreliable. In the morning I got up all overwhelmed, and even the fact that today I have a day off did not help to improve my mood. There was a complete mess in my head. I thought with shame that I had cheated on Oleg. Somehow trying to distract myself, I was doing household chores, but around 5 o'clock in the afternoon it became somehow uncomfortable. There were terrible misgivings. I remembered how Dima, leaving, saw one of the 2 parallel telephones that stood in the hallway. "Tell me your phone number." "I don't have a phone at home, but I'll find where to call if anything," he told me then. And what the hell pulled me to name these 4 numbers? This made me feel even more uncomfortable and my hands instantly sweated. I began to walk around the apartment and repeat, "I wouldn't have called. I would have forgotten my number. Oh, please, I wouldn't have called." But after a couple of minutes the phone rang out with a ringing trill. For some reason, I immediately felt that it was Dmitry. Covering my ears with my hands, I whispered, "I am not at home." The phone fell silent for a few seconds and then rang with renewed vigor. It seemed that on the other end of the line they knew that I was at home. I resignedly went to the phone, picked up the receiver and raised it to my ear with trembling hands. "Hello, my love," Dmitry's affable voice was heard. "Hello," I said in a trembling voice, the worst expectations were justified. "That you have not picked up the phone for so long, you don't want to talk to me." "No, just busy." "Then drop everything and come to me. You know where I live." "No Dim, I can't." "And I think you will come. You will come in here." "Dim, please, you can't, I can't. And in general you have such a strange voice. Are you drunk?" "I'm not drunk. I just drank a little." It was no longer my plans to meet with him. I decided to hide from my husband that I had cheated on him, and live as before when he is released. So I said emphatically, "No, I'm not coming, sorry." I hung up the phone, but did not have time to move far as the phone rang again. It seemed to me that he was calling somehow ominously in the silence of the apartment. I will not come up," I whispered. The memory of Igor who persecuted me, threatened me or said that he loved me crept into my thoughts. Then she was afraid of men for a long time until she met Oleg. And now there was a similar situation. It seems that Dmitry also decided to pursue me. But unlike the case with Igor, I wanted Dmitry, wanted and was afraid at the same time. And meanwhile the phone kept ringing and ringing. I went up to him and answered the phone again. "Yes, I'm listening." "Well, why are you hanging up, dear? I call you to visit and you hang up. I've already said everything to Dim." "But I didn't say everything. I am now with friends and I'm going to go home." "Yes, fine, so go home." "You're drunk, Dim." "Yes, I'm a little drunk. But the fact is that my friends live in the first microdistrict, and your house is located just between this microdistrict and my house." "What do you mean by that?" I can hear how your voice trembled. "Were you scared?" "The thing is, if you don't come to me, I will come to you." "What? Why do you need it?" "How is that why?" "I'll come and meet your mom. Or rather, woo you. I will tell her how I love you, and that you will soon become my wife." "No, you don't do it, you don't dare." I almost shouted because my nerves were at the limit. "I dare as much as I dare and will do it. Your mom comes home from work at 5:30, doesn't she? If I leave my friends now, I'll be in time for the family dinner." "How do you know what time my mom returns from work?" I babbled in fright. It wasn't funny anymore. "Where? So it does not matter. Why do you need to know that?" "So I'm going to meet your mom." "No, Dim, please no. Please don't, Dim, we'll meet tomorrow at work and talk. So listen to me here. You have a choice, either you come to me or I come to you. I will knock on your doors until they open for me." "Well, what do you choose, or do you still doubt that I will do it?" He said it in an insinuating tone but with a steel imperative note in his voice. "No, I don't doubt you." "Then what will you do?" "I'll come, just don't have to create trouble for me," I said resignedly. "So smart. I give you time until 6 in the evening, you have enough time to meet your mother from work, and then reach me. Just keep in mind at 6 you will not be and I come to you for tea." There were beeps in the receiver and I threw it on the levers as if it were a rattlesnake. When my mother came, I told her that I was going to my friends. "I'll be late, Mom, so you don't wait for me," I told her. And here I am standing at Dmitry's apartment, my hand does not rise to ring the doorbell. Finally, I gather my courage and call. He quickly opened for me and escorted me to his room. I walked all the way and came up with a speech for him, in which it would be my sharp and final no. But Dima didn't let me say a word, he just grabbed me with his hands and put my back against the wall. His hands held me and did not allow me to move. He looked straight into my eyes and I saw that his eyes were covered with a gray haze and lightning. In the next second he began to speak quietly, but with obvious metal in his voice. Although it seemed to me that he was yelling at me, what wanted to run away from me? Will not work. I see that you only came to talk. You mean you decided to stay with your husband, right? So, I can see that it is so. Only now you will not succeed. You can pour out all your eloquence on me, only this is useless. You are mine. Understand this once and for all, I will not give you to him. Understood? Do you understand me? You are mine. On the last question, he lightly shook me by the shoulders. Now I was really scared, because it seemed that he was reading my mind. A tear rolled down my cheek and he immediately hugged me with the words, I scared you, well, don't be afraid, come here. All is well, this time the voice was soft and kind. Then he began to kiss me until I returned the kiss. Having laid the table, he put a bottle of vodka down and said, well, what are we going to drink? Don't be afraid, I'm not going to get you drunk. You just have a little bit. He poured me half a glass and shouted to my mother to go to the table. Mom, shuffling, holding on to the wall, entered the room. Dima sat her down at the table and gave her a glass and a spoon. Then he introduced us and offered to drink to our acquaintance. Then you will accompany me to the house of Dim. I defy Knightley won't let go of one. Mom drank another shot with us and left. And Dimitri took me to dance. So we spent the evening drinking and dancing huddled together. After drinking vodka, it became so easy, and for some reason I wanted to drown my problems in it, at least today. But looking at my watch, I said that I had to go. Dimitri offered to drink on the road, but the vodka ran out. Running to a neighbor who traded at home, he again called his mother to the table. Mom, I'll walk her home and come back. No, that you are a son, although I do not see, but I hear that both of you are very drunk. Where are you in this form? You will be taken to the police station in the sobering up center. There is nowhere I will not let you go. Dima said you have a phone number, warn your family. The neighbor will allow you to call. Yes, Mom is right, well, where are we so beautiful? No, I defy Knightley won't. Don't worry, Dima will put you on a separate bed. He has 2 of them in his bedroom. I certainly doubted that he would put me to bed separately. But he, as if nothing had happened, said with a malicious smile, knowing that his mother would not see him. Well, of course, Mom will now get clean linen for the second bed. I didn't get through to the house. Apparently my mother fell asleep and lay down on her healthy ear, and her second ear was very hard to hear. We returned home to Dima, his mother went to bed. And I resolutely said that it would be hard for me if I didn't come to spend the night. Okay, good going. Just a drink on the path. He hugged me and put a glass in my hand. No, I have enough, I will not drink. Why do you consider yourself drunk already? He smiled broadly, and then drunken bravado began to play in me. I'm not drunk, I'm not lying, and having drunk in one gulp, I settled in his hands. He picked me up and carried me to the bed. Then he began to undress me. Undressing, he himself lay down next to him. Alcohol gave additional pleasure, because all thoughts were gone and only a vague fog remained. Periodically, consciousness was completely turned off. When my head cleared up a little again, I noticed that he was kissing my neck and again fell into a sweet oblivion.